It's not realistic to expect Garcia to keep up these numbers, but let's have some fun with it. Here's what he's projected for the season. 291 batting average with 46 home runs, 126 RBIs, and an OPS of 932. That's somebody who is a legitimate MVP candidate.
Oh, yeah.
If your team is a little better, and then sometimes even when your team is not a little bit better, because baseball does a better job at that than anything else. But I will tell you this. I'm not saying that Garcia is like the face of the franchise or anything like that, but you are seeing the excitement in a player that this team desperately needs, because let's face it, this team has not mattered for several years. This franchise has not mattered for several years. It looks like this franchise still might not matter in the scheme of playoff baseball for several years. But this guy right here, he's bringing excitement to Arlington.
He is an MVP candidate after this weekend. I'm not saying he's going to win it. Yes. Now look, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s better right now. Mike Trout was, but he's going to be out for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very tough for him to do this. Now, right now, yes, just like in 2019, our quarterback was Dak Prescott, was an MVP candidate until Thanksgiving, and then fell off the face of the earth with what happened to him and what happened to the Dallas Cowboys in 2019. Right now, today, yes, he is. So is Shohei Ohtani, who is now throwing the ball 91 and says he's tired. Let's see what he does, right? I mean, a lot of things can change. If this was last year, the season would be almost over. We'd be like, hey, he only has to hold on to this for what, 15 more games? And he might be the MVP. You know, it might be Vlad Jr. It might be Shohei Ohtani. It would be very tough for him to overtake those guys. There's a lot of season. Most likely, he's not going to do the numbers that Kevin is projecting, right? I mean,
that would be,
right.
But like, think about it.
But if he does, he legitimately could be the MVP of the American League and Rookie of the Year.
But wouldn't it, even a scaled down version, be preposterous? Like if I told you that we said 46 and 127, if I told you that Adolis Garcia finishes the season with 30 to 35 home runs and 90 to 100 RBIs, aren't we all just like, oh, sweet baseball Jesus, thank you for this?
Yes. And in fact, even right now, yes, because I do think he is I know Leody Taveras is still a prospect, and he's working his way in AAA, probably going to spend the majority of the time in AAA the rest of this season. But I do think we found our center fielder for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yep. And you have, and also I think the other part of it, you had the excitement that he brings to the team, the confidence and swagger that those guys in the clubhouse have because of him. They're like, hold on, all we got to do is get him up to the plate, right? Like at some point, they're just like,
unless you're Dusty Baker, and then he's like, oh, we're gonna win.
So like I think his everything comes along with him. You know, we asked Woody about him last week, Mike, and I loved the quote where he was talking about hitting against Garrett Cole, and he was like, you know what, Garrett Cole's never seen me, and he was like, so let me introduce him to Adolis. That's what I'm talking about. This is a dude that doesn't care.